unity and peace, and cultural diversity. So it's such a pleasure to just be up here and see everyone as one, holding hands, that we represent the same beliefs and the same things that we all hope for. I see some of you are not talking to each other, so don't make me point at you. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. So if you can kindly get everyone to have a seat. A round of applause for all of you and all of us. I wasn't included, but that's okay. Please have a seat. Thank you so much. No Islamic event is complete without a recitation from the Holy Quran. So I'd like to welcome our reciter for this evening, Brother Luqman Zacharia, up to the stage to start this evening with the recitation from the Holy Quran. And then followed by the translation by Sister Damaris Tanseed Siddiqui.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويل لكل همزة لمزة الذي جمع مالا وعدده يحسب أن ماله أخلده كلا لينبذن في الحطمة وما أدراك ما الحطمة نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة إنها عليهم مؤصدة في أمد ممطدة.
That's a beautiful recitation. Now for the translation.
The name of the surah, Humaza, means the slanderer or backbiter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has cursed the people who backbite or defame other people. The curse is also on people who hoard wealth and don't use it to help the needy and poor. These people think their wealth will make them eternal and protect them from everything. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns them that it's not true. They will have to face a crushing disaster, which is the hellfire, a fire never seen before. The fire will completely cover the defamers and the hoarders and become their prison. This surah warns people about the consequences of backbiting and hoarding.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for our two youngsters. Thank you. Now I'd like to welcome Brother Abdus Sattar Ghazali, board member of the Islamic Society of East Bay and senior advisor of the American Muslim Voice Foundation, in welcoming you. Thank you.
Well, as what MC said, my name is Abdus Sattar Ghazali. I am a senior member of the Islamic Society of East Bay and also advisor to American Muslim Voice. So I formally welcome everybody, and I know many people have come from very distant places just to give support to the Muslim community. Thank you very much and most welcome.
Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to welcome, how many pieces of paper here? Next, I'd like to introduce someone who's not a stranger to all of you, Sister Samina, the founder of American Muslim Voice Foundation. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon all of you. All of you know what is happening in our country, especially with the Republican Party, and especially with the presidential candidates. But today is not about them. Today is about us. This is the most beautiful sight. And 13 years ago, when I founded American Muslim Voice, this is exactly what I imagined. That if all of us talk to each other, sit down, have a meal together, all the ignorance, all the fear would just fly out the window. And that's exactly what it is that we are doing today. Today is about the love we share. Today is about the support we give each other. Today is about the compassion and kindness and the acceptance. We do that. One thing I urge all of you, never ever ever say that in front of me. And that is the word tolerance. When people say tolerate each other, that makes me physically sick to my stomach. Because tolerance is bare minimum. We tolerate DMV lines, we tolerate strep throat, and sadly, some of us tolerate cancer. Human beings are supposed to be accepted, loved, supported, and cherished. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our dream, an American dream. And thank you. This is the sermon. So. Okay, I guess they're going to do that for a few minutes, so we can just be silent until they're done praying. Thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you, Sister Samina. So we'll have a short 5-minute break before we start this the next session, which is everyone coming up and talking and speaking on your designated time. We'll be breaking for prayer, which is what we just discussed. So what you heard was now the actual moment at which they are going to start praying right now. So we're going to break for 5 minutes, and I would like to invite and welcome anyone, as long as you're comfortable with it. We're going to go up and pray for the next 5 minutes. You can either chat amongst yourself and hang out, or you're welcome to join us in observing us in our prayer if you'd like. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone again. So quite a few of you joined us for prayer, which is awesome. I hope you had a chance to get a glimpse of what we do during prayer. So if I can encourage everyone to please have a seat again so we can continue. Once again, for our speakers, please make sure you come up front and have a seat in the first row. For the purpose of convenience, I'm going to change the rules a little bit. So we're going to start with the leftmost speaker first, and then we will go in that order. Instead of necessarily having you follow each other, that might create some confusion. Some of you folks are not here today. So is that okay with you? All right, so from the president, change of orders. We're going to stick to our original schedule, which is I will introduce the first speaker, and after which we can go from there. So before we go ahead and start the actual portion of where everyone comes up and speaks, I'd like to invite the children of the school who can come up and who will sing Nasheed to all of you. So just to give you a bit of background, The nasheed is an Islamic song. Obviously, the specific song that they will be singing to all of you today is called Tala'al Badru Alayna. About the song itself, I'm sure all of you had a sheet that was given with a sign-up sheet. In case you didn't, it's a traditional Islamic song that the residents of Medina sang to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, to welcome him upon his arrival to Medina after being forced to leave Mecca. So the song is over 1400 years old and one of the oldest in its tradition. Come on, together. Bow. 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you. Please make sure you keep it to 3 minutes exactly, obviously in respect for everyone's time. Or I have the tough job of pressing the button, invisible button that will open up the center of the stage and we drop down. So, just kidding. So with that, I'd love to welcome our first speaker for this evening, Mr. Bob Wieckowski, Senator, California State Senator. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here. And thank you for assembling today as we stand in unity for the values that we share, for freedom, for acceptance, and respect for our diverse faiths and our backgrounds. Now, our country is based on a constitution that guarantees our civil rights, including freedom of religion and freedom to assemble. We are a nation of immigrants. Yesterday I participated in the California Democrats Convention, and Kamala Harris indicated that at a speech that she gave that every 50% of the people either are immigrants themselves in California or they have a parent that's an immigrant. It is the values that we cherish and honor that attract people to our all around the world to come to the United States and come to California. It's been true throughout our history that our best days are when we come together to support each other. It's when we work hand in hand to form a more perfect union. It's when we fight against discrimination and intolerance, and when we unite against prejudice to ensure that our civil rights are upheld for each and every one of us. Immediately after the 9/11 attacks, I was proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with members of all the faiths as we stood together as a community for the attacks that had occurred. We know that education and understanding are the best steps to overcome the divisive rhetoric that we hear too much today. It's not about winning, 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 if you get my drift. By building awareness, we can help our nation move from fear to friendship. Thank you for putting this assembly together, Samina, and thank you to each and every one of you.
Way under 3 minutes. All right, next. In the essence of time, I will let each and one of you to please give a brief introduction of who you are, where you're from as well. That would be greatly appreciated.
Good evening. My name is Scott Haggerty. I'm president of the Alameda County Board of Supervisors. And it is a pleasure to be here today. Don't be in a hurry to condemn, because it doesn't do what you want to do, or think as you think, or as fast. There's a time when you didn't know what you know today. I didn't say that. Malcolm X said it. But to me, that quote says it all. Americans after 9/11 have been all too quick to condemn, too quick to pass judgment, too quick to prosecute Muslims and individuals of Middle East descent. For the most part, Americans have learned to continue to learn from the past. And while it is a slow and painful learning process, Americans continue to learn that Muslims, just like Buddhists, Christians, Sikhs, Catholics, just want to be treated equally and be included as part of our beloved America. I would like to thank Samina for organizing this event and creating the American Muslim Foundation with the goal of connecting all Americans from all walks of life. This unique and influential foundation reminds us that being different is, in fact, powerful and something to be proud of. The American Muslim Foundation teaches us to appreciate and embrace our differences as well as our similarities. If we're all born the same in this world, it'd be pretty boring. I'd like to thank you all for being here this evening and offering your hands and your support for this mosque and around the world. May I leave you in peace today, inclusion for tomorrow, and hope for the future, that one day you can truly rejoice in a country and a world that is blind of race, religion, color, or creed. Again, my name is Scott Haggerty, and it is an honor to be here today. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jianshu, Shifu. I'm the Abbot of the Zen Center of Sunnyvale. It is an honor to be here. From our point of view, there are no good people in the world. There are no bad people in the world. But there are people who have done good things, or people who have done bad things at some point in their lives. That is because some are well guided by good friends, some are misguided by poor choice of friends. So it's a matter of education. When Buddha looks at a person, he sees that there's something common in all of us, no matter what your race, what your color, what your beliefs, what's your social status, there's something that we are equal within us. That is the ability to know, the ability to be aware, the ability to feel, the ability to make mistakes and correct our mistakes, the ability to care, and the hope for happiness. For that, we are all equal. And that is fundamentally what we are. So, however, if we use our ego self to see each other's ego self, there will be conflicts, there will be hardship and suffering. But if we use our Buddha nature, which is that which is common within all of us, if we use the Buddha nature within to see the Buddha nature in each person, then there is hope that we can come together, work with each other, and create good. So, today we are gathered here, it is proof that we all have this Buddha nature, we all have this pure mind within us. let us work together and bring out the pure mind in both people who have done good and both people who have done bad. And we then have hope that we actually will create peace in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just a quick change of plans. So before our next speaker, Kamal Ahmed, is not here. So in lieu, we're going to have the Mayor of Fremont, Mr. Bill Harrison, here speaking to us. Also, a special recognition for one of the founding members and the long-standing members of the ISEB, Mr. Sayyid Ibrahim Inandar. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for everything you've done in this place. Today we wouldn't have it and have this event if it wasn't for your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And celebrate different cultures. In the American culture, I guess I'm pinch hitting would be the vernacular to fill in a little space. My name is Bill Harrison. Mayor Bork, thank you very much for coming over and welcome to Fremont. And on behalf of my council colleagues, you're going to hear from Vice Mayor May in a second, but we also have in the audience Councilmember Rick Jones. Please give them a very round of applause, please. This piece of property that we're on is very special. It symbolizes people coming together. We have a city park, we have a Methodist church, and we have a mosque all coming together. It's a place of gathering. Just last year, we put up a peace pole, which brought together representatives of all the religious communities to put a pole here to symbolize peace and everyone come together. This is the perfect place for this. Samina, thank you for doing this. Thank you to the American Muslim Voice for doing that. You know, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary here in Fremont. 10 years ago at our 50th anniversary, Councilmember Natarajan had the vision of all of us wearing orange shirts, holding hands around Lake Elizabeth, and it was a beautiful vision of people coming together. And I had a little bit of remembrance of what we just did when we did that right there. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for bringing it to Fremont. Thank you for building up the inclusion that we have here and taking it all across our area and our region to make sure we all are all together. Thank you very much.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands it's not just American Muslim Voice, it's Islamic Society of East Bay and St. Paul United Methodist Church. So this partnership with everybody. I don't want to take all the credit.
So if we can call upon our next speaker, Mr. Patrick Bird, Mayor of Palo Alto.
Well, thank you, Saram, and thank you, Samina, for inviting all of us today here. We are honored to be invited. And I also want to thank you for inviting us to be welcome here in the future at this wonderful center. So we often are asked, as we have visitors come to the Bay Area and Silicon Valley, what makes Silicon Valley special? And one of the answers that we emphasize so much is that we are one of the places on earth that has some of the greatest diversity of people coming from everywhere to bring their great contributions to our communities and to build something together that is always new and being recreated. And so when we recently had our State of the City address in Palo Alto, we've discussed many of the things that people do care about their buildings and the community assets and the parks and the traffic and all those problems that we have. But in the end, we discussed about what really makes a community. And a community is about people coming together to be one. And this is not always simple nor easy. It is something that we have to work at, just like in families, to build that relationship. But in the end, it is what makes us strong and rich in the sense of richness that is not materialism, but richness of us together as one culture, bringing together all of the backgrounds of all of our different cultures that we have brought together to make one new and better one. So thank you all for inviting us, and it is a real pleasure to join you today.
Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. So peace be with all of you. It's my pleasure to join you today. My name is Lily May, and I have the honor of being the Vice Mayor of this wonderful city that you're in. And I'm here today and joined by my fellow council member, Rick Jones, and we just heard from my mayor. I've had the opportunity to be here before. A little bit about myself. I come from Philadelphia originally, the city of brotherly love. And so it's great joy that I get to share that with our community. And some of my previous visits, I was formerly on the school board. And I think one of the things that I think the message is today that is so critical is about education and awareness. And we work so hard with our children because children do not know hate and do not understand that. And so by working with our community to educate them from the early age and here today, it's to recognize that how important it is for us. I mentioned to one of the audience members earlier that I grew up in Philadelphia, and during the period of time of the Vietnam War, being the only Asian in my community, it was at times a little bit tough. And so I think that I really value that here we are in a community of 250,000 people in Fremont with over 150 languages and dialects spoken, so we get to really embrace and enjoy the fabric of diversity here. So thank you again for including us, and wish you all the best and continued success in sharing this message, and thank you for the organizers.
Thank you. So just a little footnote, all of you guys are amazingly about 1.5 minutes under your time, about a minute actually on average, so please utilize your time. I was kidding about the whole trapdoor. So.
My name is Michael Yoshi. I'm the pastor of the Buena Vista United Methodist Church in Alameda. We're a sister church of St. Paul's here in Fremont. And want to share, thank you for Samina for inviting me here. I've known Samina since right around 9/11, after there were many unfortunate deportations going on and a lot of crises happening in the communities. And we were meeting more often at the immigration center to intervene in situations there. But we've been in touch over these years, and it's been going on far too long. The kind of disparaging attitudes toward Muslims and also South Asians and Arabs in our country. I wear two hats today as a pastor. I give you greetings from a Methodist church and from our conference. I also chair our Advocacy and Justice Committee for a non-Methodist church in California, Nevada. I also wear the hat of being a Japanese American. And I want to just share a brief word about that perspective as well. I know there's some folks here who are from the Japanese American community. I think one of the things that we value when we embrace diversity is we come from different perspectives and experiences in our lives. And our community, of course, many of you know that we were subject to mass incarceration during World War II. And but there was some rectification that took place in 1988, August 10th, 1988. There was a Civil Liberties Act that was passed apologizing to Japanese Americans for what happened. But I think it's very instructive for us in terms of education and history to understand what they said of why it took place when they apologized to our communities. One, that there was wartime hysteria, which had people not thinking correctly. Two, there was lack of political leadership. Lack of political leadership to speak up for Japanese American communities at the time. We did not have representation to speak up for ourselves. And thirdly, there had been pre-existing racial prejudice that colored the whole situation. One of the reasons why our Japanese communities have been so sensitive to coming to support of the Muslim, South Asian, Arab communities after 9/11 was because we had been the face of the enemy. And we know what that feels like. Even subsequent generations know what that feels like. And so we like to invoke that to remind us as we come together as diverse communities today to remember that there's been an historical event that we can continue to learn from today as we build our bonds together, and really encourage us to invoke that for others that we are in conversations with as we try to come together and support the Muslim community here today. We thank all of the sponsors here today for bringing us together, and really appreciate the way that they have worked to help us build our common bonds of humanity and our common bonds of spirituality together as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
United Faith Interfaith colleagues, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Vincent. I'm an Episcopal priest and also founder of the community of Interfaith colleagues in Monterey Peninsula. I received an email last month from a Roman Catholic friend of mine. She wrote, "In the bleak of winter, I'm deeply troubled by the angry backlash against our Muslim citizens, and I know you are too. I would be very afraid if I was a woman covering my head and identifying myself as a Muslim. What to do?" She went on to say, "I think the Christian churches should take the lead in this and try to bring some light into this darkness which is being fomented by you-know-who, but has its basis in fear and ignorance." I agree with my friend. I'm grateful to the Islamic Society and to the Methodist community for inviting us to this event. I speak on behalf of my colleagues. There are about 70 of us from the Monterey Peninsula, Baha'is and Buddhists, Christians, Jews and Muslims, who believe that merely tolerating each other and our different religions is not enough. Mere tolerance is merely lip service. This nation of ours was founded on the principle of religious liberty. Freedom of all religions is enshrined in our Constitution. Americans who are Christians have the unique challenge to be faithful and uphold this fundamental freedom for all its citizens. I call on fellow Christians, please hear me. I call on fellow citizens, particularly clergy and politicians, to actively build bridges of understanding and mutual respect between America's different religions. Today's voices are against Islam. What will tomorrow bring? I'm here to stand with our Muslim brothers and sisters and join them to replace the culture of fear, division, and violence with a culture of hope, inclusion, and peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.